oi, you beautiful people, oi, oi. It's here, it's all about getting real, and it's all about the old Cockney Buddha doing that getting real, oi, oi. I tell you what, blimey, 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 I know we're in the summer now because it's a bit warm. And this one I'm going to put out there is all about being out in that warmth. What a great present weekend I had. Absolute banging weekend, really enjoyed it. And it all started on Friday. We was having a bit of a laugh. I actually put a short up there on YouTube, go and check it out. And my daughter and I were starting having a bit of a laugh. She was playing a game and she was like leaning on me, and then the dog wanted up on the armchair. Oi, oi! Bloody cramped us out, but it got better and better from there on. We went and see the legend Cam, Mr. Chill Adventures. Go and check him out in the description below. And his beautiful, beautiful girlfriend, great energy, absolutely awesome human being. Thanks, Kat, for turning up with Cam as well. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. So this is all about the weekend. And it started, like I say, with my daughter and I having a right old bleeding giraffe, weren't we? We was, I was Fridays, I normally take Fridays off. And we were up. Well, I was listening to music. I normally go in where I've got like decent speakers and all that. I can put the forgot the bloody TV. God, how can you forget the name of that? Put the TV through it, and I listen to music, and I sort out new bands that I can find, and you know, things like that. And I have a right old blast doing it and listening to music. And I pump the sound right away up, bang the old amp on, oi oi. And I have some kind of reminiscing moments where I'm listening to some old reggae from back when I was living in London, listening to some of that music, and ska and metal and you name it. I go through quite the mix of different musics. But anyway, my daughter comes in and I had this game up on, and I'm like, hey, you might like to look at this. And so she's kind of sitting on the arm of the chair next to me, and then all of a sudden kind of drifts over and slides, and she's got like a body weight on me where I'm leaning over on the side, and she's playing the game, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a right old laugh. And then the dog comes around, and I've got an American pit bull, guys, and it's bleeding. This guy, when he wants loving, he wants some loving. And he was like, I want to get up. And I'm like, what? So all of a sudden, he starts climbing up my... I'm like, what? And then he lays down. So it all started out really well with the old bonding moments with me daughter and me dog. And I was getting really excited because I was going to go meet Mr. Chill Adventures. Oi, oi! Cam and Kat. And his girlfriend Kat, and I was really looking forward to it. So we took off on Friday night and headed down towards the coast, down towards Melbourne Beach Way, and met up with those guys, and it was a really, really awesome time. We went and grabbed some food and just started chatting of what's the score for the next day on the Saturday. And then we went back there on the Saturday and had a right good day watching him surf. I'm going to be putting a video out there. Going to wait for Chill to drop his one because I'm going to be editing mine. So his one will get up a lot quicker than mine, put it that way. And so I've got a bunch of editing I want to do on it and that, but I've got a video that I'm going to bang out there. And it was just getting used to the GoPro and that. So there might be some, I've already seen there's a couple of clips I did. Not, thank God, not like one of those where you're like, I really needed that. Which I realised I didn't have any sound. Hey, lessons, right? That's what it's all about, getting the lessons. But I thought, oh no! I watched it back on a couple of clips and I'm like, oh no sound, what am I going to do? And nothing you can do now. And I'm thinking, can I do voiceover? And I'm like, let's leave it. But yeah, had an absolute blast of a Saturday. Really, really good time hanging out on the beach. Went to some surf shops, couple of surf shops. Cat had busted off her fin in the morning because we got there around 2 in the morning, and then at 2 in the morning. You having a laugh? 2 in the afternoon. We got there about 2 in the afternoon, and they'd already been out surfing and that already with a mate of Cam's, which was always good because I know absolute bugger all about surfing. So to hook up with me and say, "What's the waves like?" I'll be like, "Yeah, look great," and then you'll get there and go, "This shit." Oh boy. But I love it because I live through these guys and surfing because I know there's a zen about it, and I live that whole piece, that whole life around the guys I know that surf now, you know, Grom and Uncle Billy. Oh, hey, Billy out there. Joe, Dan, there's a few people that surf, and I watch these guys and I listen to these guys and go through them and live through them. So there was a few lessons you'll see them in the videos. There's a few lessons in there from somebody that knows absolutely nothing about surfing that may, you know, he's asking some questions. And if you're a surfer, you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that's an obvious question." Yeah, not to someone that bloody well don't know surfing and is trying to learn. So keep your bleeding hair on. All right. Unless you mean you got no hair. So, so we had an absolute blast on a Saturday. It really was a good time. And then we went from there, my wife and I went out, we grabbed some nosh and headed back towards home. And then on the Sunday, we planned on getting over to my eldest daughter's boyfriend's place because she's spent the time over there since Friday, I think. I think it's since Friday. She's been spending time over there with a fella, and he's like, "Hey, come on over on the Sunday morning," and because he's got a boat, and he's like, "We'll go out, we'll take a run on a boat and that." And I'm like, "Holy shit, all right." Well, we ain't had no rain in weeks. When do you think it decided to rain? Oi, oi! Damn it.
I'm going to screw up your weekend, Buddha.
Yeah, that voice, right? And I'm like, you look out the window and you go, "Oh, rain? Really? We ain't had it for damn weeks, damn it." But I tell you, you turn the other way because I tell you, we got in the... We brought it up on the old satellite map and we're watching where the storm was at and that, and we're like, this should pass over us, but you never know how long it's going to take because it could look like it's going a bit of a clip, bit fast, and then it gets to you and it's like, "Oh, we're going to stand still now." But the old map was saying that it was going to get past us, like this storm, this big old thunderstorm. So we sat it out, we got in touch with my daughter, and you know, we're sitting there going, "Oh, no." And then I turned it around and I'm like, "Hey, think about it this way. We're getting water because it was getting right dodgy and we still need a lot more. We ain't had enough. We really need some bloody rain, crying out loud. My allergies, anybody out there with allergies, bloody hell, I bet your old snoz is going a bit wonky, innit? Your old nose." Oh, I get a bit of that up in the old sinuses and sneezing. I just had a bit of it just now, a bit of the old sneezing. It's like, bloody hell. But yeah, we need the rain bad. You know, water levels, you can tell with the retention ponds and that, they're low as shit. And we got burn bans and all that kind of crap in process as well. So yeah, it's a little bit naughty out there. So I turn it around and I just, you know, work on the positive part of what's been given you. There's always something that you can grab onto. And that's where I was going, like, right, okay, well, at least it's going to bleed and start replenishing the water and the plants are going to look better. Our grass is going to start looking better because right now it looks like shit. It looks like someone took a bleeding flamethrower and just went out there and went, "You don't need this long, do you?" Oh, yeah, well, this gets rid of weeds and all. Yeah, you're getting rid of me soil and all. Well, look at it. Shit. Yeah, it's a bit burnt up, to tell you the truth. And I don't like to put the sprinkler on unless I have to, because the sprinkler's really, to tell you the truth, when it's that hot out and that humid, that you can see the freaking evaporation as the sprinklers are like throwing the water through the air to land on your lawn. Some of it's going, not allowed. And it's just drifting off into the air. Into the, you know, when you look up and you see those big, white, fluffy pillows in the air, you're contributing your sprinkler system to that. It just like disappears as it's shooting. I said to a mate, I'm like, we're in a bit of a bloody drought and all that. And I said, this time of year, you only need like 2 days before your lawn and everything's going, oh my God, I ain't got no water. And it could have poured down on the, 2 days before, but if you don't get a nice steady stream of water, shit here starts to go, oh dear me, I'm not having fun. Things start to look a bit shit. So, thankful, praising the water that was coming down. So, it's weird how when you turn your mind, things will start to turn out. Because I turn my mind around, I start thinking, well, it is what it is and it will be what it's meant to be. So it's a matter of sitting tight, seeing what's happening with this storm. If it happens that we go, great, it'll be brilliant. But if not, it is what it is. At least we've got the water. At least we've had a bloody bit of a downpour of rain. So got hold of my daughter, told her, and she's like, no, head over a bit later. Cody, that's a fella, saying that he's checking it out and it should pass on. We're like, all right, sweet as a nut. And we were looking at it and all, but we didn't know what they really wanted to do, So over we head, and just as we're on about 3/4 of the way there, and it takes about an hour to get over there, roughly, if that. No, can't be that. 45 minutes, maybe. And just as we get there, it started to ease up. The rain started to ease up. And all of a sudden, the old current bun, the current bun came a-smiling. Behind every cloud, there is the current bun. I did a short on it as we was in the car going. If you look at that short, it was absolute piss down rain. And you wouldn't believe it, the day we actually ended up with. It was absolutely awesome day. Really was. And we turn up first time going over to Cody's and never seen his gaff or anything. And I tell you what, it's the geezer's done all right and doing all right. I can tell you that. So we had a good old time. We had a chat. I got to talk to Cody on his own a little bit and all, so we had a little bit of a chin. Had a great time on one of the sandbars there, Ponce Inlet, where there's a red, bloody hell do you call those things with the light in the top? Lighthouse. Oh, jeez. Red lighthouse there, nice one there, and we was not far from that. And one of my favourite birds, apart from like birds of prey and all that, because that's another one. I mean, if you say what's your top 5, birds of prey, some different kinds of birds of prey on is one. So I just say bird of prey, and pelicans. I love pelicans. I remember one day being on a bloody boat, and they were doing it yesterday and all. But I remember being on a boat with another mate of mine. God blimey, years ago, and we're on our way in from being out fishing and all that. We're on our way in, and I look over to the right, and my mate is booking. He's like, he's caning it. And I look over to my right, and there's this pelican gliding about. It looked like the tips of his wings were touching the water. I mean, he must have been about a foot off the bleeding water, gliding. Wasn't even flapping its wings, level with the boat. And I'm like, holy shit. And I tap my mate. My mate looks over, and he's another ocean fella. And he goes, oh yeah, for sure, man. And I always liked pelicans, but they gave me a whole new respect when I saw that happening. I'm like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Holy cow. So I've always loved pelicans. Anyway, there we are on this sandbar, and I'm standing there, and we're chatting and that. And all of a sudden, this round the corner, because you couldn't see around the bend where the boats come around at. So, but around the corner, this bloody pelican flies around the corner, comes towards us and lands next to me. Holy shit. I'm like, what? So I'm standing there watching this bloody pelican preen itself, and you know, he was having a good old time, and I'm like, oh, what? I need to go. I don't really want to move, but I want to go and get me camera. Hopefully, I might be able to get the thumbnail. If I can get a thumbnail and put it on up as, I'll get a picture off and make a thumbnail out of it. I'll probably do it with this pelican, and I become like really present with this with this pelican, and I'm like, oh, I need me phone so I can get me camera. So I edge over, I walk over, and my daughter's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I've got to get me camera. There's a pelican over there, and I edge me way back, and I edge a bit over, this bird wasn't moving. It was well comfortable. It was just fine sitting there, and I'm like, oh, I've got to get the and I'm like, well, I wanted to sit down and have lunch with him. Or her, whatever. I don't understand whether there is a difference to see male, female pelicans, but hey, pelicans. I love pelicans. So, so that happened, and Cody, my oldest daughter's fella, he gave me an awesome gift with a neck chain with a mandala on it, and the Om symbol in the middle, and these other pieces of like spiritual, you know, like the I don't know what you'd call symbols, and absolutely awesome gift. I was like, oh wow, that is absolutely banging. So I got that from him, which I felt that. I was wearing the necklace today, absolutely awesome, and. Yeah, oh, and he saved the dog. He saved the bloody dog. What the hell, this guy? Superman cape. This dog, it was bloody... The guy... I had gone for a walk, and I came back, and I kind of saw what was happening with this. There was a dog in the water. I'm like, what the hell? And there was, you know, there's people all over the place, but it was really nicely spaced out. I wasn't feeling... Because I can sometimes get that little bit of a overstimulation, I guess it is. It's not like overwhelming, it's my overstimulation one. If there's a shit ton of people like all in that one vicinity, not really moving, I can get a little bit like, I like space. I like my space. I do like my space a little bit. I love being around people, absolutely love it, but I do like space as well. I couldn't handle, because Cody was saying, yeah, on a Saturday, the boats are like side by side, like touching each other. Yeah. I like to have a little bit of space, a little bit of breathing room. So anyway, as I'm coming back, is the people that were over a little bit on our right hand side. The fella, I didn't even know it was the fella that was over here on our right hand side. He was across the way on the, like, I guess you call it the jetty bit, and there's this dog in the water swimming, and I'm like, that dog ain't gonna make it. It looked knackered already, and we're sitting here, we're watching, and all of a sudden there's a bit of interest. Like the people on our left down a bit, they were all of a sudden like looking over there, what was going on. So Cody gets up, he goes, I'm going to go and get the dog. And he pulls the anchor and jumps in the boat, and, you know, freaking Miami Vices it over there. And kind of guides the boat drifting to where the dog turned and started going back towards his owner again, and the owner managed to grab him, get him up out of the water, and then Cody got him in the boat and then brought him back over the shoreline. But I'm like, what? What a day, what a weekend. Holy shit, man. Unbelievable. Great bonding with my daughters. You know, I had a really, really freaking... I didn't really have to move my arse. It was amazing. My daughter Trin, she's like, hey, Dad, we got some like pineapple and honeydew melon if you want some. We cut it up, and I had a banging sandwich, loads of... Well done, Trin, my eldest daughter, because she put a load of banging black pepper in there, lovely jubbly, and tomatoes, and because I'm vegan, innit? So she did that up and a load of black pepper. And then, hey, Dad, you want some, you want some fruit, like some melon and pineapple? I'm like, yeah, all right. And I was going to, over it comes, big old bowl of it. I'm like, oi, oi. I'm sitting on this sandbar in the sun eating freaking fruit like I'm in the islands. I was like, oh, yeah, bring it on. And then when I went for me walk, I just took a bit of a stroll on me jack, and I found an area where there was like it was nice because it was like areas where there was hardly anybody on them. So I went walking over there so I could just be to myself a little bit, my own thinking and that. And I went over and I went like waist high in the water, and I'm standing there and I'm looking around at the clouds that looked like someone had took a paintbrush out and painted. It was amazing. Like the clouds just looked like they'd been stuck up there somehow. And I'm looking around, there's a nice wind coming in. I'm looking around at everybody, a little bit further out, and thinking about me bloody family and my daughters and Cody. My daughters found this fella, Cody. My youngest daughter's found a decent fella, Luke. And all of a sudden I just became present. And I'm saying to myself, how on earth does this happen? How on earth did I get here? And thinking back started happening at the very beginning, and the choices and the chances you take, and for the better good, for bettering yourself. But little did I know, the bettering myself was moving from London to here. That was the bettering. But we started off, we didn't have anything, and I wouldn't change any of it. Because it gives you a whole respect for where you are when you look back and you go, God, blimey, look where we were then with absolutely no idea. We didn't have a clue where we were going to end up or what the path was going to be or anything. All we knew is we didn't have much at that time. Literally, we could afford the rent over our head and food was... We couldn't even afford chicken. It was, I did amazing things with pasta and cans of tuna in different ways. And then I was making my own bread to save money. We couldn't even afford wood to put on the bloody fire. But it's all those things to where I was standing there yesterday thinking backwards, and I'm like, wow, unbelievable. You got 2 daughters, and I'm absolutely proud as hell at. They're going through school, and just so proud of them. And I actually told my therapist that this morning when I spoke to her, or this afternoon, sorry, when I spoke to her. I told her how proud I was of the girls, and I just started crying because it's just an amazing thing to watch. Never thought I'd be in this position, but it takes choice, guys. It takes choice. And yeah, sometimes in choices, there's a lot of unknown. Shit, when I made the choice to move to the US, I knew nothing. Absolutely jack shit, nothing. I knew my wife, a couple of friends of hers. That was it. I didn't know anybody. Didn't relate to anybody here. Culture shock happened. There was a whole different ball game. But if I hadn't made that step, yes, like I said, I came here and it was like, geez, but I never, ever dreamed or thought of being in the position I'm in right now. But if some of those choices had not been made, if some of those fears had not been basically walked into, if I had not have stepped into that unknown, I wouldn't be here now talking on this microphone. It wouldn't be happening. It would not be happening. Opportunity arose. I met a girl from America. Didn't expect it to happen. Even when I went back to England, because I met Tracy when I was on my vacation here with a mate of mine. And I had absolutely no intention whatsoever of dating anybody in any other country. And because of, obviously for obvious reasons. And I went back to England, and then one day I got a phone call, and it all started from there. That's where it all began. And then gradually things, the relationship started to grow a lot more. And then it was, okay, well, where do we stand here? What do we do here? And I decided to make the choice of moving to the US. My wife had just started a career, even though it wasn't paying shit. But she was in a job. I was in a position where I was ready to get out of my job. And it was just like, right, what are we going to do? And the choice was made. And then it was all hands on deck then. Because once I made the choice and knew what was going to happen, then it was a matter of planning and getting things together and doing what I didn't really tell anybody that it was going to. Obviously my family knew, but and then I remember going into work one day from a holiday, and there was a fella there who was no longer with us, unfortunately. We used to nickname him Nosha, and he came out and he goes, "Hey man, how was your holiday?" I said, "Good, I'm moving." And he's like, "What do you mean moving?" And I said, "I'm leaving the country." And he's like, "What?" I always remember it. He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Yeah, going to be moving to the States, man." And I'm telling you, make your choices. Don't sit there being afraid of something that you want to go for, because something is giving you that uneasy feeling in an unknown. You don't know. I didn't know I was going to be here. No way in living bloody hell. I didn't even know. I've been married 30 years. Who the heck would have even thought that? Who the heck would have even thought that? Even relationships are, it's working things out, working on yourselves, working so that you can work on each other's relationships and your partnerships together. And, it's about doing the work. If you want something and you want it bad enough, you put the work in and you do the work. And you make it happen. And you make the choices, and you don't let that unknown get in your way. So remember, guys, if you don't make those choices, you ain't going to grow and move. Don't be put off. I got a lot of warnings, let me tell you. I had the warnings. And it's a matter of not listening to the warnings and still going for what you want. If I'd have listened to them warnings, I might be in resentment right now, right? Go and do it. Don't hold yourself back, and don't be held back by others. Do it for you. Do it because you want to grow. And do it with full intent, and you'll get through it. Whatever comes your way, you will work it out. When I couldn't work when I moved to Maryland, we didn't have that much money. One thing I did is I went and volunteered and gave up my time doing some cooking for a homeless shelter. Or a soup kitchen, whatever you want to call it. And it was absolutely massively rewarding. Because there's always someone that's a lot worse than you are. So thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is the Cockney Bird. It's all about getting real. Please go and like and subscribe and get this community building. Stay that course, guys. Namaste.